Okay. Armored Core 6 in VR. Will it happen? No. Here's why, after countless hours of reviewing footage and after listening to all the opinions, I no longer have any hope at all that Armored Core 6 will support VR out of the box. My name's Pastel, and today I'll be discussing Armored Core 6 in VR. But first, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you're doing something right, and we make literal garbage here. If you do want to show some support, please go follow my good friend Waffles. He makes far better content than I. Link is in the description. So, why do I suddenly have zero hope that Armored Core 6 will VR? Initially, a culmination of factors had me doubting whether From Software would invest any time or effort in VR for this particular IP. Between From Software producer Masanori Takeuchi stating the hardware was actually a little more limiting than we expected, in reference to the PSVR, after finishing their only VR title to date, Darachine, and Miyazaki not mentioning anything about first-person perspective in his interview with IGN, which is pretty important for VR, I was already quite skeptical that Armored Core 6 would launch with VR support. However, after the dust settled from the PSVR2 launch, I found myself wondering if there may be a chance after all. And then the gameplay trailer dropped, and oh boy, I simply cannot fathom how this is ever going to work in VR. To pull any of this off with only motion controllers or a simulated cockpit seems so unlikely. Frankly, the only way VR is ever going to work with this game is the old Luke Ross mod style with third person. The same exact way that Elden Ring plays VR, but with a mech that moves 10 times as much and does it 10 times as fast. Which brings us to the why. Why wouldn't AC6 have VR? Well, besides the huge amount of added complexity and cost, the lack of players who have the hardware to utilize it, the limitations of the technology in general, and the inexperience of the team with VR as a medium, there are a few other reasons why I would speculate they aren't going to bother including it. First, Armored Core 6 is a fast-paced game, and if you go into any corner of the internet where Armored Core 6 and VR are discussed, I guarantee you will find someone complaining about how terrible it would be to have a game that fast-paced in VR. Do I agree? Absolutely not. I think it's complete bull. A lot of people feel that way though, and that will show up in any initial marketing sweeps. Second, they don't want to risk it. Right now, it sounds like From Software has one focus, and that's to make this game as good as it possibly can be, and VR is just another risk that would only get in the way of that vision. Sucks for VR enthusiasts like you and me, I'm assuming, if you're watching this video, but it's definitely understandable. So yeah, that's it. That's why I think Armored Core 6 is not going to have VR. Thanks for listening. Ciao.